Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about CCI Blazer. Okay, this is brass ammunition. Here, I'll open up the stock so we can get a look-see at it. All right. So one of the things that does annoy me about CCI Blazer is the way that they package it. They use these big trays that make the box itself bigger. Let's say compared to, let's say, Tula. You can see how Tula is packed, 50 rounds is packed a lot more compact, which is a really big deal when you're buying like 4,000 rounds at a time, right? You know, and you're storing it. Storing boxes this size are a lot more convenient than storing boxes this size, okay? So, and also, as you hold the two boxes, right, because this is more compact, when you go like this, it doesn't move so much. This moves a whole lot more, okay? So if you're carrying 1,000 rounds on your shoulder, you know, it tends to move around a lot more. It swashes around. So that's the first thing I want to put out there. That's one of the annoying things about this, okay? As far as price, okay, this is pretty affordable because where are we? We're November. Are we in November yet? No, yeah, we're in November. November 2023. I just looked up the price on AmmoSeek. 1,000 rounds of this is $240. 50 rounds is about $12. You know, plus your taxes and shipping. I haven't bought this in a while, so I can't give you an actual, but I just looked it up today. That's what it is on AmmoSeek. So very affordable, right? Right now, 1,000 rounds for $240 plus your shipping and taxes. I'm guessing it's going to come out to something like $280 or something, delivered. Very affordable. So, pretty much for the last year or so, I'm either shooting Tula or I'm shooting this. Okay, and particularly with my carry guns, this is what not only I practice with, but hey, this is my carry gun right here, right? G43, right here, and get behind the camera. See if I can get you in focus. Right there, right, Blazer. So this is what I carry. Okay. Now a lot of people will be like, oh, "Why are you carrying full metal jacket? Why not hollow points? You're gonna over penetrate. You're gonna shoot innocent bystanders. All these BS that I normally hear." So here's the thing, okay, and I've mentioned this before in other videos. In a self-defense type of situation, you can expect half your shots to miss, okay? So you have to be relying on something beyond hollow points, not over penetrating, because even hollow points, sometimes they don't act the way they're supposed to act, okay? So I have discussed other techniques. Like, let's say if you see a problem escalating, you use the time to change your position, right? Because usually there's escalation, right? So you use the time to change your position. Just a couple of feet can make all the difference, so that there's no innocent bystanders behind your threat. And the other thing is, if you're in an ambush type of situation where you don't have a chance to check your surroundings, the threat is probably going to be a foot or two in front of you. Basically, I'm shooting like this into the low hip or something like this, or I'll come up and I've done videos where I'm in this position here, using my elbow to grapple, okay? So if you look over here, you see that I'm shooting downwards, regardless whether my bullets hit the target or miss the target. They're only going to end up about maybe 6 to 8 feet on the ground behind the target, okay? So that's how I deal with it's a full metal jacket, going to over penetrate, The ammunition is cheap enough, okay, that I can afford to put twice as many bullets on the threat if I need to, okay? So that's my mindset. Now, here's the other thing, and this is probably the more important component, okay? I live in a very low-risk area, okay? I don't go into, high-risk areas at night or anything. This carry gun that I have here is... The primary purpose is to assert my rights, okay, my right to carry. But the secondary reason, right, is basically for training people or training myself. So on any given day, I can be here or I can be at another gun range, and I might want to demonstrate something, and whatever I've got on me, that's what I'm going to demonstrate with. So the same ammunition that I practice with is the same ammunition that I carry, and it's just, I do this every day, okay? So it's not going to, I found it really inconvenient to be like, oh, wait, 1 second, I gotta change the ammunition in my gun so I can demonstrate. Okay, so it's a lot easier for me to just, whatever I got on me, that's what I demonstrate with. Okay, and the other point beyond that is, I also don't think it's a great idea to practice with one type of ammunition and then carry another, because different ammunition acts differently. The recoil can be differently. The way it interacts with your gun can be differently. So I definitely recommend carrying whatever ammunition you practice with. And if you are a person that likes to carry like super expensive ammunition, that's the ammunition you should be practicing with. Okay. Let's get back on course here, because I did go off a little bit on a tangent there. And let's talk about this CCI Blazer. So obviously over the last year or 2 years, I've gained a good deal of confidence in this ammunition in order for me to carry it. Now, the way I developed that confidence was not by running it through the chronograph and shooting, tight groups at 100 yards. The way I decided to use this ammunition, right, and it wasn't because of the name, it wasn't because it said CCI or anything like that. Was basically, as you guys know, I do a lot of gun building, okay? And a lot of these guns that you build sometimes are very finicky, okay? Some of them can be very finicky. So one of the things I noticed is that some of my more finicky builds work better with this ammunition, okay? So I was like, hey, if the finicky guns work pretty good with that ammunition, well, the guns that work very well are going to be even that much more reliable with this ammunition, okay? So for example, let's say I've built a whole bunch of these G43s. Some of them are not like 100% reliable, right? So what I do is I go through a process where I select the one that is the most reliable, or the 2 or 3 that are the most reliable out of the so many that I build, okay? So that's one of the ways that I select the carry gun. And that's also how I selected the ammunition. I saw that, hey, this ammunition works in even the finicky guns, and it's definitely working well in the guns that seem to work well, let's say, with Tula. So I'm going to use this gun with this ammunition. Okay? So that's how I ended up selecting that ammunition. So today I decided, hey, let's do something. Let's go, let's do the standard empirical tests that I normally do. Let's put it in a rifle, shoot it out to 100 yards, see what kind of groups that we get. And I've done this in the past, right? I don't think I did it on video, but I've already knew what to expect. I knew to expect 3 to 4 inches, okay? Which is kind of what I get with Tula as well. So it's not like it's the accuracy is better than Tula or any of that. 9mm at 100 yards out of a 6-inch barrel typically gets 3 to 4 inches, and then you'll get a couple of flyers that are like way off. Okay, so that's what I get out of Tula, and that's what I got today out of this. Okay, but I said, hey, let's run it through the chronograph and see what type of velocity we get and how much of a variance we get, right? Like, what's the difference between the slowest shot and the fastest shot? Okay, so I ran this, I put it through this 6-inch barrel here, right? Let's see, Blazer CCI. So I got an average velocity of 1353, okay? 1353 feet per second, okay? Which translate into 468 foot-pounds of energy. So out of a 6-inch barrel, this thing is pretty much hitting like a 10 millimeter almost, right? Or pretty much, okay? It's got, because the longer barrel gives it that extra velocity, okay? So then I said, okay, let's put it in a Glock 17. So I said, hey, let me run it through this Glock 17 over here. Okay. So I had the Glock 17. Average velocity was 1159. Okay. Which basically 1159 feet per second, which gives me 343 foot-pounds of energy, okay, which is pretty much what I get from Tula, shooting it out of the same length barrel. Okay, so okay, very good, right? So, but here's the interesting thing now, okay. On both of these, right, when I looked at, let's say, shooting it out of the 16-inch barrel, the 5-shot group, right, the slowest was 1338, and the fastest was 1369. Okay, so the difference between my slowest shot and my fastest shot was 30 feet, actually 31 feet per second, which is tiny. I mean, that's like kind of what I see out of like match grade, 223, 5.56 ammunition. Okay, so I said, maybe that's a fluke. So I looked at the difference when I ran it through the Glock 17. Okay, so on that one, the slowest one was 1145. The fastest one was 1177. So now that's a difference of 32 feet per second. Okay, so that's 2 times in a row. The difference between my fastest and slowest shot in the 5-shot group is 31 and 32 feet per second. That's a very small difference, particularly for 9mm. What's more normal for most ammunition is to see a difference of about, let's say, 65 feet per second between your fastest and slowest shot, and going up to almost to 130, even 130 feet per second, seeing even that much of a difference. So the velocity is very, very consistent coming out of this. So what that made me do is say, wait a second, okay. If this ammunition is so consistent in velocities from one shot to the other, why the hell am I only getting like 3 and 4 shot, 3 and 4 inch groups at 100 yards? So I shot this up today a bunch of times, and this is like the best group I got here. Okay, so at 100 yards, a 5-shot group, right, where I got 1, 2, 3. You can see the holes here, right? They're basically at 3.5 inches. But then I get one wild one way the hell out here, and I know I did not throw it. I know, because I'm paying attention to my reticle. When I'm shooting, my reticle is doing this, boom, 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 boom. In order for the shot to go there, I would have had to go boom, like, I would have had to see it jump. So I can't. First of all, I can't even explain why, with such a small variance, right, of 30, 31, 32 feet per second, even if I discount this flyer out here, why are my groups 3.5 inches? I should be getting like 1-inch groups. And I did this a bunch of times, and I did occasionally, like here's one where I did manage to land. I did manage to land like 3 shots, like right next to each other. So that's like a 1.5 inch group. But then the others went like really wide, right? So I did 2 more and they went really wide without explanation. All right, and then I did it again. Right? Again, I'm using like a rifle here with an 8x magnification, right? 8 times magnification, and I can see the bullseye very clearly, right? My chevron's right underneath it. When I'm shooting, the chevron's going boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so I did the next group. I get 1 hit here, 1 hit here, 1 hit here, 1 hit here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably the 5th one over there. So I'm like, I have no good way of explaining why these groups are as wide as they are, right, with the velocity being as consistent as it is. I just can't explain it. So this is not a video of me telling you guys, hey, I got the answer. I don't know the answer, okay? So I just don't know, okay? And you guys have seen me shoot, let's say 5.56, 223. You've seen me do videos where I got like 1/2 inch groups at 100 yards. I'm shooting like Wolf Gold. I'm getting like 1 inch groups at 100 yards. I'm getting those kind of groups consistently. And this isn't the first time I'm shooting Blazer at 100 yards. And my average is usually 3 to 4 inches. Okay, and sometimes it opens up even beyond that. I don't have a good explanation why. Okay, so now one of the things I did consider is maybe the rifle is pushing the bullet out too fast, and it's going faster than the 9mm was designed to do, and it's destabilizing it. I forgot which. So anyway, I shot that. I don't know. I might have left the target downrange, but basically, the group opened up to like I got an average group of 4.5 inches. So it didn't like shrink down to like one like a consistent 2 inches or anything like that. So I did consider that maybe there was too much velocity behind this 9mm ammunition. So when I went to 7.5 inch, it didn't do a whole lot better. So what I think, I mean, the velocity is coming out of the barrel pretty consistent. The only thing I can think of is, you know, it's a much fatter bullet, right? So normally at distance we're shooting, let's say like 5.56, which is basically a 2.23, right? Even if you're shooting 308, you're shooting a 30 caliber. So in the 30 caliber is basically, even though it's like 30% of an inch wide, it's long. So I'm thinking that perhaps the fact that the 9mm is just a fat, short bullet, you know, that might be the limitation. You know, it might just be because of that. Maybe it gets just naturally gets unstable. You know, I mean, I did do a video where I think last week I had this rifle at a different location where I was shooting 300 yards, and at the 300 yards, I was getting about 50% hits on a target that was basically, I think it was like 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide, so about that size. 50% hits, but you know, with the type of consistency that I'm seeing, you know, from the velocity out of this ammunition, I would think that, you know, I would be getting like, you know, 6 to 10 inch groups. I mean, I don't know. So that's something for us to ponder. If you guys have any ideas of why this ammunition is, you know, even though the velocities are so consistent from shot to shot, you know, why do the groups, you know, open up to like, you know, 3 to 4 and plus inches? Why can't we hit 1 inch groups with 9mm at 100 yards when the velocities are so consistent, so close to each other? So that is the question to ponder. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes I do videos where I don't have all the answers. So thanks for watching. Drop some comments below, and I'll talk to you all soon. Hey everyone, real quick, I want to talk to you guys about how do you defend to a jury, right, in a self-defense case, your ammunition selection, okay, whether it's hollow points or full metal jacket. A prosecutor will say that you chose that ammunition because you wanted to kill their client, okay? So, you know, I spoke to my prepaid legal service, and what they told me, right, was you pick the ammunition and the gun that you think will you'll be able to use the best to protect yourself, right? As long as it's legal, okay? So you pick the ammunition and you pick the gun, and then you leave the self-defense part up to your lawyer, right? That's their job to explain to a jury why you picked the ammunition and the gun that you selected. So as long as it's legal, right? They'll be able to make a good case on your behalf. Okay, so the lawyer doesn't have to be expensive, but don't wait until after you're in a legal bind before you start looking for one, right? Because if you do that, they're gonna ask you for like a $3,000 retainer up front. I use U.S. Lawshield, right? The reason why I use them is because they're cheap. They're only $11 per month, right? And then with this promo code Pocono Shooting, right, you get either 1 free month, 2 free months, or they take $20 off. Depends on your state. That's a state-by-state thing, okay? So you got to have a prepaid legal service to explain to the jury, okay, why you selected the ammunition that you did, okay, and the gun that you did. You're not going to be the one that's going to do that, and certainly don't try and explain that to the cops that might be arresting you, okay, because they're just, you know, they're just trying to get you in some kind of a trap there that they can use against you later on. Okay, you know, the way this legal service explained it to me when I went to one of their seminars is you pick whatever gun and whatever ammunition you think you'll be able to use the best to protect yourself and your family, and then leave the defense up to the lawyer. That's what you got them for, okay? They're going to explain that to the jury. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.